Hello everybody and welcome to Xodas Gaming. My name is Xodas. In this video, I'm going to give you my first impression on Warlords of Draenor based off of the questing and the dungeons. Note, I am not level 100 yet, and I have not gotten into the level 100 max, PvP and PvE content. So, this is all based off the questing of the dungeons. And before you leave, this is still relevant to you. You can tell a lot about an expansion based off the questing and the dungeons. So, listen to what I got to say before you say this is irrelevant. So, I'm level 94, and I've done the first two dungeons, Iron Docks and the Blood Slag Mines, or whatever the hell it's called. And they're pretty fun. I gotta say, the dungeons are really, really fun. I had to do the mines like 5 or 6 times, and I never really got burnt out on them, surprisingly. I was really looking forward to the implementation of different game mechanics, something that kind of set their dungeons apart from Cataclysm and Miss Pandaria and all the other expansions. And they definitely delivered. I gotta say, I really, really enjoyed the types of mechanics they threw into their bosses. Now, some of them may not be completely revolutionary, but they have a little spin on them in comparison to what we've seen in the past. Every boss has 1 to 2 new or remastered game mechanics, and they have 1 or 2 old mechanics that aren't really that special, but they're still good game mechanics. They're just ones that we've seen a lot. So this added a lot of interesting gameplay to the dungeons. I don't want to spoil it for anybody and say what you got to do, but there is definitely a lot of special little interesting things you got to do for these bosses. Another thing that really caught my eye was that while going through the dungeons, each dungeon I did had two apiece, random like just side bosses. They had their own name. They weren't some generic kind of name. There's only one of them, one of each kind, and they had extra health. They were obviously a boss, and they even had their own mechanics, but they don't drop anything. They're not named in the dungeon journal by any means. And I don't know if anything's been shown on the internet about it. I haven't really looked, to be honest with you. But I think it's very interesting. I'm honestly kind of hoping that Blizzard will implement them as side bosses that will give you maybe an achievement or some kind of extra loot once we get into the heroic mode. That's what I'm hoping, but never know. It could just be random bugs, or they could just be random things they put in there just to diversify the dungeon. But I thought that was very interesting. Now, let's go ahead and get into the questing. The questing is really, 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 really fun. In my opinion, the only thing that can really kind of stand beside it, as far as how good it is Wrath the Lich King. Now, some of you I'm sure there's one of you that doesn't like Wrath the Lich King, but I loved it. And for me, it was just a wonderful feeling getting pulled in. You get fully immersed in the story, and you grow almost a little bit of an emotional bond with the characters in the game. Your character, the NPCs around you. I honestly, I was feeling them. I had the feels when I was questing. I was like, oh man, that poor guy, that poor son of a bitch. I mean, it was hardcore, and it's fun, and that's what I'm getting with Warlords, and I'm loving it. The first phase of the questing, where you are trying to disable Dark Portal and get to Shadowmoon Valley, obviously is the hook, and it's a lot better than everything else. Now, I'm not saying it's way better in comparison to them that they're bad, but they're great, and the hook is extraordinary. Basically, the hook is meant to do exactly that. It's supposed to hook you, and it is extremely good. I honestly wish they had done the rest of the expansion like they did the hook, but that's a little bit too much to ask for. Now, even though the hook was amazing, and the other quests, you gotta live up to that expectation. They're in the shadow, but they're still carrying their own weight, and they're still doing very, very well. Yes, once you get in the Shadow Moon Valley, you go back to the pretty basic, kill 12 of these, and bring me 3 of these, and bring me so-and-so's head. They go back to their pretty simple game plan. But the beautiful scenery and the addition to garrisons, it really adds a whole new level to it. And it brings these, what would otherwise be very dull quests, and it really brings, it really gives them a little bit of a spark. I really do enjoy it. I think Shadow Moon Valley is a lot of fun, but I do have some complaints about the questing as well. The first complaint is, oh my god, the lag. Alright, now we'll get out of that. I had to get out of my system. So my first real complaint is, there is a little bit of a problem with the fact that it takes so long in one place to level. I didn't have this issue because I did a lot of dungeons, and I used little potions and shit to make me level faster. But I'm gonna use my mom as an example. My mom, she plays a Death Knight. She's not very good, and she didn't buy any of the experience potions, and so she is just trying to level on her own. She has been in Shadow Moon Valley for the last ever since release date, so like 2 days, and she's still only level 91. That sucks. That's kind of like, wow, the leveling is very quick, don't get me wrong, but apparently it's not quick enough, or they needed to add a little bit more diversity in their zones and where the levels start and end. So, like, I still have to, even at level 94, I'm still going back and forth between Shadow Moon Valley and everywhere else, and it's honestly very, very boring. I'm so burnt out in Shadow Moon Valley. The quests are still good, they're still fun quests, but I'm just kind of burnt out on the scenery. I'm kind of like, okay, I kind of want to go do the main quest line here. It's kind of what I'm here for. So that's a little bit of a issue I have, but that's not very big, and that all comes down to you. But my next complaint is there is so much disorganization. They just decided to throw it out. I'll put it this way, good luck staying on the main storyline. It's not like every other WoW expansion. It kind of reminds me of Skyrim. You go to a town and you pick up the first quest. The first quest is the storyline. That's the one that you're supposed to be doing, and you're like, woo, storyline, yay! And then guess what? You get 8 other quests that are completely unrelated and have nothing to do with the storyline, and they're all side quests, which lead to side quests, which lead to side quests, which lead to side quests once again. And they take you everywhere. Now, this is very good for leveling quickly. There's a lot of choice, there is a lot of opportunity to get a lot of experience very quickly, but this is not very good for people who want to listen to the story, who want to listen to the lore, and want to, experience the expansion. And you can't really tell which ones are the main storyline and which ones aren't. I tried, it's not very easy. So there's a little bit of disorganization there, but like I said, that's personal preference, that's not too bad. Now I want to end this video off real quick here with a little thing. I love the garrisons, and if you don't, you may be stupid, because they're pretty sweet. Like, really, the garrisons are pretty freaking amazing. Anyways, that's my time, guys. Thank you very much. I hope you liked the video. I hope you subscribed, and I hope that you stick around and watch my other videos, and even join me on my live stream, which I will be live streaming throughout every day. Like, all day, every day, all the time. So go see me there. Link in the description. See you later, guys.